sector as well as our agriculture sector. That is my goal, to make Lambton County one of the top places in North America where the bio industry, the biochemistry space is becoming kind of the mainstay of the entire economy. So shout out obviously to our traditional petrochemical industry. They're why most of us are here. Most of us are connected to that industry. Like to see that grow and continue to be sustainable and profitable as well. But we want to see if we can grow this sector. And so can we do the same thing we're doing traditionally, so with the same processes, mostly the same labor force, which we have a tremendous one, with different inputs that are courtesy of you folks, to have similar inputs that we already, or exports that are coming out. So what does that look like for the Sarnia-Lambton Economic Partnership and our other economic developers who are with us on this trip as well? So shout out to Natalie from Lambton Shores. We appreciate her support and everything we do as well. So my goal is to talk to a lot of the biofuels, synthetic gas, ethanol, phosphoric acid from biochemicals, bioplastics, you name it, everything we're currently doing only from a biosource. So in Sarnia-Lambton, we've undergone a biodiversity opportunity zone study. So if you're interested in that, you can find that on our website. And what that is a North American, and now growing into the European market as well, it's a rating system for certain agricultural feedstocks to give the certainty for folks who would like to build a facility such as the St. Clair ethanol plant, that they would have in fact enough feedstock to run a facility 24/7. In order to give that certainty, you're looking at a facility that's in millions of dollars. So those folks obviously want to make sure that they can run it and make the product and of course the money 24/7. So our biodiversity zone is in Cornstover, and I did get a question earlier. What is the difference between Cornstover and corn silage? Any of the folks on the bus want to answer that?
Yeah, Mike Bellin question there.
Mike Bellin should answer it. You just got thrown under the bus. I can answer it generally, but just wondering if anyone else wanted to. So when it comes to the chemical side of it, silage means it's ground up, stover means it's not. So in the Sarnia-Lambton County area, there's 190,000 metric tons of dry corn stover that could potentially be available for a facility, like the St. Clair ethanol facility, should they want to put together a cooperative with local producers, probably with the help of the Sarnia-Lambton Economic Partnership, to build a facility and produce some type of fuel or some type of chemical byproduct to be used in either plastics or food additives or fuels, working really hard hopefully to get a sustainable aviation fuel facility in the Sarnia-Lambton area. We know that sustainable aviation fuel will be a big product in the future, and of course if you fly out of Toronto Pearson Airport or you fly out of Detroit Metro, and most flights out of I believe it's Bishop Airport in Flint, if you've taken any of those flights, you're using jet fuel that's made here in Lambton County. So if we can morph that into sustainable aviation fuel, that is the goal. I know a lot of our facilities here are looking at different opportunities, but that is certainly a goal for your economic development office. Sounds easy, finding it's not as easy as I'd hoped, but we will keep working on that particular piece. We field requests from companies all over the world. So a lot of the clients that I'm working with are based in Asia, or they're from Europe, and a few from the United States who are heavily into the bio-based chemistry fuel space in order to create their product. So we're working really hard to get Lambton County known as the premier spot in Ontario to do that type of business. I would say we're doing fairly well, but I would hope we're doing fairly well. We are getting very well known. So when Matthew and I certainly go to conferences in this space, people tend to search us out now because they know that we're from Lambton County, we know that we're from the hybrid chemistry cluster. So as Ong was talking earlier at the research part, that innovation ecosystem that we are all a part of, the nice thing is, all those players that he mentioned, so the research park, the college, the economic partnership, Blue Water Energy Park, Bioindustrial Park, that's TransAlta and our Lynxio sites. When you get one of us, you get all of us. So any connection you have with any one of those 5 to 6 players, BIC is one as well, you get all of us. And what we do, at least from the economic partnership side, is free. And so we do help with the permitting, the site selection. Basically, once you call us, you're stuck with us. You're not going to pay us a bill, so most people are happy to hear the word free. But our goal is to make sure that you build a facility here and create jobs and support a sustainable economy in Lambton County, because obviously we all love living here. We want to make sure we still can. Shout out to Chantel, who's from the Economic Partnership on the bus. My job is to get them here. Her job is to keep you here.
What's your name?
My name? I'm Shauna Carr, and this is Chantel Carr.
Shauna.
Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I work at the research park.
Okay.
So, if there's any questions, but also any concerns in that department and what the economic partnership might be doing, I know the general public sometimes questions me. Is that going to impact food production? No, it is not. That is not the intent of the Sarnia-Lambton Economic Partnership or the facilities we're looking to attract. Food production is absolutely key to the sustainability and the viability, as we learned from Shauna and Aslan, for food production in Canada. We will not negatively impact that in any way. So if that's something that one of our clients would be asking us to do, we would politely decline.
So what's the biggest holdup? I know something was started before, but is it government, municipal leaders here, or what do you think?
The biggest bottleneck that we get is regulatory uncertainty. So as Canadians, we see our political system as fairly stable, our democracy is fairly stable. Countries elsewhere do not see it the same way. The problem with our political system, the US is highlighting this spectacularly at the moment, but we also do the same. So whenever a new government comes in, they wipe out all the regulations and start again. And that leads to such uncertainty that the business community really pauses and, do I really want to invest in Ontario, Canada? Lots of benefits to doing so, but that one is really difficult. In the bio space, we've had 2 hurdles in the regulatory space, none of them municipal. So shout out to my municipal guys who are on the bus here. They are always ready, willing, and able. Same with our planners from the county. And economic developers and planners don't always get along. But our guys at Lambton County are fabulous for being able to work with all the interested parties to make sure that this will in fact happen. But are there incentives? Do we really want to see this happen at the provincial level or the federal level? Any bottlenecks there? We need the government, especially the federal government, to make a regulation that says sustainable aviation fuel, like ethanol is a drop-in for our traditional fuel, is a requirement, because it's just too bloody expensive right now for folks like Air Canada and WestJet.
The fossil fuels cheaper.
Fossil fuels is way cheaper. Let's be honest, we've been doing that a hell of a long time in Lambton County, let alone this country. We got fossil fuels down, and by that virtue alone, it is significantly more cheaper. What else? Sorry. But sustainable aviation fuel will be the future. We know that every airline that flies the skies in commercial in North America is interested in sustainable aviation fuel. Cost is the biggest impediment. So that's going to be our biggest issue for a while. That being said, there's a lot of innovators who really want to see this happen, even if it's small batch amounts. If I can even get a facility to try a small batch amount in Lambton County, that would be great, because as you saw at the research park, in that very loud pilot space that Ong was trying to talk about, Origin Materials is a great example. You can come, you can start and rent an office, and then move to the lab space so that you can do your testing on your technologies. Then you can move to that pilot space, go bigger, test it stronger. and I will help you find a demonstration size facility or a piece of land that you can build your demonstration plant, and then we'll help you go commercial as well. So you can do that whole life cycle change throughout those steps in Lambton County, and we're here, all of us, to support you along that way. Any questions?
We didn't get to go to CF Industries. They make fertilizer there out of natural gas. What benefit would they have of Lambton County becoming a hydrogen center?
What benefit would CF? You think I figured it out? So what benefit would CF get if Lambton County becomes the hydrogen hub of Ontario? Well, number one, we already are Ontario's hydrogen hub because we have the largest number of users and producers of high carbon intensity hydrogen. So we're already the hub. So that's why we promote it as such. If we become low carbon intensity hydrogen hub, CF will certainly benefit themselves in that respect, because they can use that green hydrogen in their ammonia process, and that's how you move hydrogen along. You have to put it in ammonia in order to move it to, say, Europe, which of course is what the Maritimes are really banking on. They really want to create green hydrogen or low carbon intensity hydrogen and move it overseas. There's a huge demand in Europe for hydrogen, primarily so they can get off of the dependence on fuel from Russia. So that's kind of the big piece that's happening in the Maritimes. We would like to see that grow in Sarnia-Lambton as well. First off, we need our current facilities to reduce the carbon intensity of the hydrogen that they're either using or producing in their processes. So we would like to get that intensity down. But we're finding more and more hydrogen has lots of different uses. So it can be used in chemical processes to create different foods and whatnot. It can be used for fuel. So hopefully we'll see hydrogen fuel cell, long-haul transit, transport, possibly personal conveyances to replace, some of the hydrocarbons. There's many different opportunities for the green hydrogen or the low carbon intensity hydrogen. So always looking to bring those new facilities as well to the area. All it does is continue to grow the sustainability and the diversity of our economy. I am not going to say, hey, hydrogen is going to solve everything. Neither are biofuels. The reality is, none of these fuels are going anywhere, but the more options we have, the less dependency we have on any one of them, as we're finding in these increasingly uncomfortable global conflicts that we're facing now. We need to have that production in-house. So we need to onshore a lot of this production that we used to get from elsewhere. Hydrogen, however, unless you don't deal with it, is hard to move. It is the most prolific element in our world. However, it is also one of the tiniest. So that's a lot of people are hearing, oh, hydrogen, it's hard to move it through pipelines. It's not because of the possibility of leakage or explosions. It's because it's so tiny, it leaks out. And if that's your product, you don't want it leaking out, because that's what you get paid for. So that's the biggest problem with hydrogen in pipelines. Also, too, everybody hears hydrogen as a chemical, and so we wonder about the certain releases and the impact to the environment and human health. Again, hydrogen is a naturally occurring product. Unless it is in a building and contained, if it's released into the atmosphere, it dissipates exceedingly quickly, so there is no negative impact to human health. So the only problematic concern with hydrogen is if it's in an enclosed space, it can explode.
Can explode? Sorry. Can what?
It can explode. It'll explode.
Oh.
So as long as you can vent it to the atmosphere quite quickly, that's the only concern. So
Bulky too, is it bulky?
hydrogen's not particularly bulky, unless, of course, depending if you turn it into a solid by fusing it to ammonia. So it can be bulky in that respect. Generally, no. It's a very compact gas. Air Products produces it here in the high carbon intensity.
Thank you, Shauna.